40% of cloud spending is wasted, and for AWS users, a lot of that comes from services silently running and charging you behind the scenes. In this video, I'll show you 3 AWS cost leaks you might be ignoring, and how to stop them fast. Disabling AWS X-Ray globally, preventing unnecessary Lambda logs, and eliminating surprise NAT gateway charges. No complex coding or refactoring, just smart config tweaks. And yes, all the scripts are in GitHub repo below, so you can just copy, test, and save money today. Let's jump in. Let's be honest, AWS makes it super easy to deploy apps fast, but costs, they creep up very quickly. Here are 3 things that most teams forget to manage. X-Ray, enabled by default in some services and charging you per trace, even no one checks them. Lambda logs, every function logs to CloudWatch, and AWS charges for every megabyte ingested. And NAT Gateway, used automatically by private subnets to reach services like S3, DynamoDB with per gigabyte transfer fees. The good news, each of these has a simple fix. Let's walk through them. X-Ray is great if you're actively debugging, but if it's enabled in production by accident, you are paying for every traced request, often for no reason. The fix? Let's create a service control policy to deny traces submissions globally. Let's go to service control policies. And let's create policy for disabling X-Ray. Here we should put statement, which I prepared already. So as we can see, effect is deny, action X-Ray put telemetry records and put trace segments, and this should be applied to all resources. We created policy, now we can apply this policy to our AWS organization. We can choose root, we go to policies and click attach, select our policy and click attach. Now this policy attached to root of our organization, and all accounts of organization will be disabled with X-Ray will be disabled for it. Every Lambda logs to CloudWatch, even if it's just console log hello world. Even if you don't log anything, Lambda writes this kind of log like start, end, and report logs for every Lambda invocation. AWS charges 50 cents per gigabyte ingested plus storage per month. That adds up fast. The solution? Add policy to Lambda AM role that denies CloudWatch logs action. Let's try it out. Let's go to our Lambda. Each Lambda has execution role. We go to permission. Here is our role. We can open it and see what policies do we have attached. Let's change our custom policy. And let's add statement which blocks logs writing. So this statement will disable Lambda logs, and it won't write any logs unless you re-enable them later. Pro tip, apply it only to Lambdas that don't need logs, patch jobs, health checks, etc. Here is a hidden killer. If your Lambda or ECS service is in private subnet, like you see on this screen, AWS routes internet traffic through NAT Gateway and charges 0.045 cents per gigabyte transferred, plus hourly fees. Every time your Lambda hits S3 or DynamoDB or other AWS services, you're probably being charged, even though those are internal services. The fix: use VPC endpoints, which route traffic inside AWS network instead of routing through public internet. and in this way, no NAT gateway involved. Let's dive in. First, we need to go to VPC dashboard. Now let's go to endpoints and let's create our example endpoint. Let's name it S3 VPC NAT. We need to search for S3 here in services, choose gateway. Then we need to choose our VPC. I will use this one, the one which we had in Lambda. Let's check it again. Okay, here is our Lambda, and here is our VPC. Yes, same VPC. And what we need to choose here, our private subnets. And this is it. We created VPC endpoint. Now if we go to our route tables and select one of the route table for private subnet, we can see that our new route table created between S3 and our VPC endpoint. This ensures that any traffic to S3 from private subnets goes directly through the endpoint, not through NAT gateway. I've tested this with Lambda in private subnets calling S3 repeatedly. With no endpoint NAT gateway, usage spiked. After adding VPC endpoint and updating route, traffic was routed internally and zero NAT gateway fees. And yes, this was great for ECS, EC2, or even step function in private subnet too. Even if your account is in free tier, you can still use Cost Explorer to see usage by service, request volume, data transfer, forecast, and tagging. For example, this account haven't crossed free tier for most of the services, but I still can see usage of these services. As you see, we have S3 in free tier, so it's still watching, shows you 0 cents, CloudWatch, CloudFormation, also X-Ray, EC2 instances, but you can approximately see already that these services are used. Let's recap. These three simple changes can drastically reduce your AWS bill. Block unnecessary X-ray tracing, stop unwanted Lambda logging, use VPC endpoint to avoid NAT gateway charges. I've included all the policies and script in the GitHub repo link below. Just copy, paste, and save the money. If this helped, please give it a like, subscribe, and share your own cost-saving tricks in the comments below. What do you want to optimize next? Storage? Compute? Let me know. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.